Hey guys, Nandhini here with the goanchesstrio. Welcome to the series of games of Akiba Rubinstein. Today is game 3 and we're going to have a look at a beautifully played game by Rubinstein where he plays the white pieces against Georg Salwe, and it was played in the year 1908. This is a model game of how to play against the hanging pawn structure, and Rubinstein displays a beautiful dark square strategy. d4, d5, knight f3, c5, c4, e6. We again have the Tarrasch variation on the board. C into d5, e into d5, knight c3, knight f6, and Rubinstein decides to fianchetto his bishop here with the move g3. His idea is to play the move bishop g2, and he wants to pile up pressure against black's isolated queen's pawn. So the game continues knight c6, bishop g2, c into d4, knight into d4, queen b6. Now the d4 knight is attacked and white has to make a choice on how to continue. Here Rubinstein decides to go knight into c6, and after b into c6, this has changed the pawn structure from an IQP to the hanging pawn structure. These are called hanging pawns. Don't let the name fool you. Not all hanging pawns are weak. Sometimes they are a strength. Now to become a strength, how should black continue? Black should try to get the move c5 on the board and take full control of the center, which will also help him gain space advantage. Now what is white's idea? White's idea is to not allow black to do that. So here white first goes castling. King safety is important. Bishop e7, preparing to castle. And here, because the king's already safe, now Rubinstein decides, well, now it's time to go in and take control of the dark squares and not to allow black to play the move c5. So he immediately goes for knight a4, definitely attacking the queen for once, but the main thing is this knight is taking control of the c5 square now. So after this queen b5, Rubinstein gets another piece into the game, attacking or controlling the c5 square. So bishop e3, short castles, and again another piece comes into the game, rook c1, taking full control of the c5 square now. So black cannot get c5 very soon for sure. So here black goes bishop g4, and a very natural move to do so because black is trying to gain a tempo over here. The e2 pawn is attacked, the bishop is developing. It's definitely a tempo move, right? So white has to play a move like rook e1 to defend, or he has to play a move like f3 and block the g2 bishop's path. Now it feels weird to play the move f3, and rook e1 seems a lot more natural, but Rubinstein chose to play the move f3. And Salwe was probably happy after this move, but Rubinstein thought it through and he had a clear-cut plan. So here black goes bishop e6, and now Rubinstein plays the move bishop c5, a perfect trade. Since black's dark squares are weak, once black's dark squared bishop is off the board, white can take full control of the dark squares. So if he does capture, well, rook into c5 just gives white another tempo. So black decides to play rook e8. If you capture, I capture. That's what he says. Anyway, now you get to know Rubinstein's idea with the move f3. He plays a very silent move, rook f2. I mean, who would even imagine the rook sitting on f2 here? Well, the point is this rook is later on going to come into the game with probably rook c2, rook d2. Well, we'll see that. So after rook f2, black goes knight d7, definitely, because now his idea is simply capturing with the knight probably and taking the bishop. And here Rubinstein just trades the bishops off immediately. Now again, black's immediate idea is playing the move c5. So Rubinstein plays queen d4, and if you notice, all of white's pieces are playing on the dark squares and working towards taking control of this c5 square. Now why is the c5 square very important? I think you have already realized if black got c5, black would be doing completely fine. And now without c5 on the board, the c6 pawn becomes a permanent weakness which white can target throughout the game. So after queen d4, black played rook to e8 because the rook was doing absolutely nothing on the e7 square. Now Rubinstein says, well, the c5 square is already mine. I can play knight c5 any day. Let me get more pieces into the game. This bishop on g2 is doing absolutely nothing. So he plays the move bishop f1. Simple idea, probably move the pawn to e3 or e4 and have a discovered attack on the queen, but he's also improving the position of the bishop, and that's really important. So here black plays rook e8, just defending the c6 pawn. And again, knight c5 is possible, but Rubinstein says, why hurry? I can improve my position first. So he plays e3, just attacking the queen. And black goes queen b7. And now Rubinstein perfectly plays the move knight c5. And now with the knights off the board, white will have full control of the dark squares because amongst the knight and the bishop here, the knight is the only piece that can take control of the dark squares. Now once the knights are off the board, the dark squares are all whites. So this did not happen though. Oh, definitely by mistake, I played the move queen c5. My bad. It's rook into c5 and rook c7. He gets the next piece into the game with rook fc2, queen b6. And now Rubinstein says, well, I've got control, but I can get more control of the dark squares. He pushes pawn to b4. As you see, the pawn's taking full control of the dark squares now. Black goes a6. And here Rubinstein says, well, along with c6 weakness, I also have an a6 weakness now. Let's go and hit that pawn. So he plays the move rook a5. Rook b8 just attacking b4, so a3 to defend. Then rook a7 was played, and here Rubinstein found a tactic. Now without rook a7 too, the position is clearly lost, or let's not say lost, but it's a huge disadvantage for black. But he fell for rook a7, and rook into c6 wins a pawn because after queen c6, queen into a7. Not only does white win a pawn, but the a6 pawn now is a permanent weakness, and also the d5 pawn. So it seems like white is going to win not just one pawn, but definitely more than that. So rook a8 was played. Now Rubinstein says, well, I'm already up a pawn. Let's go and trade queens. Salwe says, well, no, I don't want to trade queens because I am down a pawn. So queen b7. And here, Rubinstein could definitely play a move like queen d6 immediately, target the a6 pawn, in fact, capture the a6 pawn and continue. But Rubinstein, the class of the player he was, didn't want to give even the slightest chance to black. Because maybe there could be some d4 and the queen gets some moves, and now Rubinstein said, no, that's not happening. I can simply defend my position first, improve my position, and then go further because these pawns are anyway weak. I mean, the pawns are anyway falling. So he first chooses to play the move king f2, defending the f3 pawn, centralizing the king, and h5. Black is just trying for some counterplay, creating a flight square. Well, that does not really matter. And now he says, well, I still have queen d6, but let's improve the bishop position first. Bishop e2 first. And after g6, now he plays the move queen d6. Again, just directly after rook into a6, this is simply winning. Black plays queen c8. And keep in mind, a move like bishop c8 would not really work because this rook can just capture d5 after that. So he plays the move queen c8. After which, Rubinstein plays rook c5 here. He says, well, the a6 pawn is always mine. Let's maybe just keep improving our position and then go for the a6 pawn. So queen b7 was played. He says, well, maybe an h4 is a threat. Let's just go h4. Black anyway has nothing to do over here. So here black lost patience and just played a5 and said, well, just capture my pawn. I don't want it anymore. So here Rubinstein could have captured rook a5 and continued and won the game. But he says, well, no, I don't want the pawn anymore. I'm just going to play rook c7. I get my rook on the 7th rank. So after queen b8, let me create a pass pawn. And he plays the move b5. As you see, just b6, b7 is unstoppable over here. So a4 was played, b6, rook a5, b7, and Salwe resigned over here. He's had enough of it and he said, okay, let me just resign this game. This is anyway lost. White has a lot of winning ideas. One simple winning idea in this particular position is rook c8. So this is it with this game. If you did enjoy this game, please give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And I'll see you in the next video with another masterpiece from Rubinstein. See you soon. Bye.